Hello family, how are you? Betty Lascano, and today I present a new balayage technique that I know you will love. This time we are actually going to do this tutorial on a mannequin head. It is 100% natural hair, but I want to explain to you in a very simple and easy way how this procedure is done. And remember, the foundation of learning will always be practice and dedication. This coloring will remain throughout 2021 as these tones bring a lot of light to the face, and it is a color technique that anyone of any age can wear. If you have gray hair and want to give yourself a more youthful touch, I recommend this technique. Let's start with this tutorial. I want you to see how we are going to create our first section. It will definitely be in a circular shape or definitely circle around the entire head. We will be guided by the ear section. We will start like this and make a circle around the entire ear. I want you to see how our first section looks. The lower part of the nape is approximately about 6 centimeters in length, and in the front we will carefully separate it with a small V and start our work precisely on this area. With the formula we are going to start, it will be 3 caps of color powder plus 6 caps of 20 volume cream developer plus half an ampoule of intensive therapy. Remember that for approximately every 3 caps of the colorful powder, you will use roughly about half of the ampoule. We are going to start our bleaching at the lower part of the nape. I want you to see how we are going to carry out this procedure. We are going to carefully bleach the entire lower part of the nape with very thin lines and precisely without touching the regrowth. We are going to carefully and evenly apply the bleach, almost reaching the regrowth, to the hair. And we are going to work on one side first in the same way. I want the entire lower nape to be very bleached. I want the color effect to be entirely visible on the entire lower nape completely. It is extremely important that the sections are done linearly and that they are very thin and precisely measured. If you make the sections very thin, you won't run the risk of the hair getting stained. And it is important that every time you apply the bleach, you do it with very thin lines to achieve optimal results for optimal performance and precision, while ensuring every strand is uniformly bleached. This time my daughter Paulina is helping me. I will introduce her soon. She doesn't like to be on camera, but I want you to see her as she works beautifully. I want you to get to know her. And I want you to notice that Paulina is not reaching the roots at any given moment. She applies the bleach in a very saturated manner because it is extremely important that it is well saturated. She carefully and meticulously wraps it in the paper and leaves it. She is using a hard black board. This board helps her apply it in a more effective and efficient manner and secure it in a firmer way. The entire lower nape area is done in the entirely and thoroughly this way. Once the back part is completely finished, you should then move on to the front part and perform the procedure in exactly the same way, ensuring that you are taking very thin lines and meticulously applying the bleach on them thoroughly. If you observe here, she is already drawing the lines slightly diagonally and not reaching the roots, because remember that this is a blended job that in the end, when applying the toner, we will blend it so that the roots remain darker. She works both sides with the same technique. Once the sides are carefully and meticulously finished, Paulina carefully begins working on the middle part of the head and first makes a narrow and thin section. On that section, she does a slight, minor thinning, zigzag or whatever you want to call it, or point cutting as you prefer to call it, as you might call it, as you know it, as you might know it, and leave some dark hairs out. Only the hair she separated is where she applies the 2000 bleach. For the entire back part up to the crown, she uses the same technique. She parts the hair, then makes a slight zigzag in the hair, leaving the rest of the hair out, and carefully and meticulously applies the bleach to the separated section. She continues this process successively, thoroughly, and methodically until she reaches the crown. If you thoroughly and carefully observe this particular model on this mannequin head, you'll notice that Paulina is not using back combing either on the lower sides or on the entire back of the head. It's very important to pay close attention to those specific details, such as these. Upon carefully reaching the crown, Paulina carefully moves to the sides and starts sectioning diagonally in the same careful manner, thoroughly pulling out the hair to which she will apply the bleach and leaving the rest of the hair outside. I want you to notice that here she has already taken the hair from the bangs. She is already working with it. She makes the diagonal line, separates the rest of the hair, does the zigzag, the dotting, the separation, as you know it in your country, leaves the rest of the hair and applies the bleach. Here, we are not doing back combing. Many people do not want to work with back combing. That is why I made this tutorial, so you have more work options and can perform procedures without so much complication. In this video, and techniques to help you. This is a very straightforward and simple procedure to carry out that won't cause much complication when washing it. Here, in this context, it is extremely important when giving color to this procedure. It is the key for this procedure to turn out impeccable. And I want you to observe, Paulina continues working on the entire upper part of the crown diagonally, guided by the section you saw at the beginning of the bangs. She moves to the next side and does same procedure. I want you to very carefully and thoroughly look at the height of the sections. And it is very important that you check the height of the sections. We will soon have online courses, so I want you to stay tuned because they will be color courses for beginners, and there will also be courses for advanced professionals so that you can ask all the questions you want through these types of classes. They will have a cost because I need to buy a lot of materials. I need to buy cameras, projectors, and many other things, and I need a lot of people to support me for these types of courses. So yes, they will have a cost because a significant investment is needed, and I want to recover everything I will invest to continue supporting all of you. I hope you can definitely support me by enrolling in these amazing courses, and I know they will be truly very beneficial for all of you who absolutely want to advance in the fields of color, in the fields of hair cutting, and in all the topics we will be covering. But we will start little by little because, like me, many say, "Oh Betty, I wish I could become as professional as you." I know you can definitely achieve it, and this is because you are always indeed constantly educating yourselves. Once we have finished applying all the bleach, we will allow a natural processing time. Since it is a mannequin head, we will not apply heat and will give it a natural processing time of 40 minutes. After the processing time, it is important to check each strand to see how the lightening is progressing. It is very important to ensure that the hair is absolutely, completely, and perfectly saturated. And if necessary, we can leave it on for more time but by applying more product. Because remember that the activation time of the bleach is a maximum of 40 minutes. If you don't want to wash it and the hair is in very good condition, you can reapply it over what you already have, and the bleach will reactivate again. This is what Lupita is doing because we need more lightening. We are definitely reapplying bleach, and we are going to do it on all of the hair. Once the bleach has been applied, we are going to apply some heat because the lightening process is taking a little bit more too long. Remember that this is a mannequin head and the lightening process is slower, so we need a bit of support. That's why we are going to give it an additional 20 minutes with heat. After that time, once the hair has cooled down and is no longer slightly hot, it is very important that when you apply heat, you wait thoroughly for the hair or the head to cool down. Do not wash when the head is hot at all. You have to wait until it has entirely and completely cooled down. We are going to remove all the bleach. Here I want you to notice that when removing the bleach, you could see some very light strands, almost white. Many of you get confused and say, okay, I have the lightening done, and it turns out it's golden. In the case of this model, if you observe, the bleaching is golden. We can't apply more heat because then the hair would become too sensitive and additional. That's why we stopped, left the bleach on for approximately 60 minutes, first about 40, and then reapplied for 20 more minutes, and it always turned out golden. We definitely can't leave it any longer. It's absolutely time to correct it with the right tone now. Guys and girls, you love learning new and different coloring techniques, various haircuts, and much more, and enjoy different styles and techniques. I want to tell you that I created this channel especially for you who are so interested in learning everything related to the world of beauty. So I invite you to please kindly subscribe and hit the bell to activate notifications and be among the first to see the new video. In this procedure, we are specifically going to use two formulas, such as one for the roots and another for the mid-lengths and ends. In this type of work, it is very important that you prepare two formulas. For the roots, I am going to apply approximately 50 ml of 10 volume developer plus 25 G of 5G dye. Dye number 6. We are going to carefully and evenly apply this formula to the root. This entire procedure will help us carefully blend the roots so that they appear naturally and slightly darker. Once the tone for the roots is carefully and evenly applied, we will gently and meticulously comb it towards the mid-lengths to create that beautifully blended and seamless effect. It's time to prepare the tone formula for the mid-lengths to ends. For this, I'm going to use 90 ml of 10 volume cream developer, which is a standard amount and commonly used for its effectiveness, plus 25 G or a quarter tube of 8.1 dye, plus another quarter tube of 8.2 dye or 25 grams. This combination ensures optimal results for the desired hair color. The 25th. We are going to carefully apply this formula from mid-lengths to ends, ensuring it is evenly distributed. We will thoroughly blend it with the rest of the hair. Remember that we applied the previous tone to the roots and then spread it to the mid-lengths. Now we are going to blend that tone with the new tone. We will very carefully apply it from mid-lengths to ends and blend it perfectly well. That is what will give us the beautifully diffused finish indeed. Absolutely. In this particular type of work, you absolutely have to use double tone. They administer it and provide it a processing time of approximately 10 minutes. It could be about 5 minutes or so. It is very important that you keep checking once you carefully accomplish the tone. If they achieved it in 5 minutes, at that moment they wash. If they achieved it in 10 minutes, at that moment they wash. Once the processing time has passed, we will carefully remove the tone with a color protection bath, using this shampoo that helps us set the color. It is important to wash the hair with the right products, such as shampoos and conditioners, to make the color last. To finish, we are going to apply the Firm Color Mask by Yenvert. This mask helps me rehydrate, nourish the hair, and at the same time, fix the color. It's definitely time to give the finishing touch to this model. We are absolutely going to use Genvere's Hydrated Smooth to create that perfect straight look and make the hair look incredibly shiny and very, very smooth. I really want you to notice how beautifully silky this hair turned out. It wasn't damaged at any point. Here we are seeing the before and after. I love this type of coloring because it gives a very fresh, very youthful look. It's a look for any age. It's a color that, if you have dark skin with warmer tones, certainly makes your skin look splendid indeed. And if you have a medium complexion, this shade will look truly and absolutely spectacular on you. So, ladies and gentlemen, practice this new technique. What did you really think of this technique? Isn't it indeed very simple? So I invite you to practice diligently and consistently until you master it perfectly and completely. Sending you a big hug and many heartfelt blessings. See you in the next tutorial video.